How's everyone doing? Is the food good?
Yeah.
All right, good deal. So, kind of a weird start to the night, but we're going to get the ball rolling and pick things up here a little bit with some speeches. I'm going to open it up. My dad had an opening statement and a quick prayer to kick things off, so I'm going to get started there. I'm just going to read from his words on the page. All right. Good evening and welcome. My name is Perry Webb. I'm the father of Jonathan, and my wife Kim and I are glad you joined us tonight for the rehearsal dinner for Erica and Jonathan. I'm sure today's been taxing for many of you, traveling to Dallas, not to mention the wedding party coming straight from the rehearsal. But now it's time to relax, enjoy the food, and the company of those around you. Before we begin tonight, there are two things I would like to mention. First, when you came in, you may have noticed a picture book on the table by the door. You're requested to write a message of encouragement or well wishes to our honored couple so that they can have a memento and be able to reflect on this evening for years to come. So before you leave tonight, please make a point to write a greeting for them. And second, I would be remiss if I did not mention a very special milestone that was reached today. Jonathan's grandfather, Dr. Max Funderburk, is with us tonight, and today he turned 90 years of age. He's there in the back. And I think that is a cause for a hearty round of applause, which you all beat me to. Max, happy birthday. Paul, happy birthday. And I'm pretty sure this is the largest birthday party you've ever had. If you would, join with me now in prayer as we give thanks for the food we're about to partake. Already partook. Our Heavenly Father, we gather here tonight with a spirit of profound joy as we celebrate your ordained covenant of marriage. We thank you for your holy example of such a binding and permanent love. We are grateful for what you have placed in the hearts of Erica and Jonathan and ask that your spirit will nurture that love into expressions that bring honor and glory to your name. We thank you that you have guarded their hearts and brought them safely to this day to be presented as holy gifts to one another. And we know that what is bound before heaven tomorrow will leave living testimony unto you for all the days of their lives. We ask your holy presence to reside over us in these hours. May our desire for you to join with us in our celebration be evident by the hospitality among us. Grant now your blessings upon the food we partake and the time that passes among us. For it is in the name of Christ we do pray. Amen. Amen. All right, I'm going to open up the floor now. Anyone to come up, say a few words to the soon-to-be newlyweds. And we'll just leave it there. Mike, you want to go?
Yeah, Mike, you're going to go. Mike. Volunteers.
To avoid the awkward pause of nobody coming up here, I'll go.
Thanks, buddy.
Saving the day.
Papa, if I look as good as you and I'm 90, my wife's going to be a lucky lady. So, yeah, you've heard from me before. My name's Michael, friend of John and Erica's, and I think John and I have been through pretty much everything that two straight dudes can do together. We've lived together, we've worked out together. I'm not as big as John, but I still try to be. What else have we done together? We were in community group together, church together, we've worked together. And so, Erica, I can say that this is the happiest I've ever seen John, without a doubt. The second happiest was when we lived together. Thanks. So this is definitely the happiest I've seen John. Ever since, Erica, you came into his life, it's been like night and day difference from things in the past that he's gone through. And I can say that I've been through John in some like really, really dark times, for myself, for him, for others around us, and then also like really great times. And John always is just so humble and gracious and courteous of how he treats others. He holds himself to a very high standard, and he's a really good man. You have a very good man that you're going to marry. And I'm really thankful that, John, you also have a really fantastic woman that you're going to marry. First time I met Erica, we worked out together, right? At a fitness class, yeah. And afterwards, she talked to me for like 30 minutes, and I felt like I just talked about myself the whole time. She was just asking me questions. I'm like, this girl's awesome. Like, she was asking me all about myself. And so you're very intentional, Erica. Every time I see you, you just want to know what's going on in my life. You honestly have like the best heart, and I'm so thankful that John has found you. And like your spirit animal, can I say?
The butterfly.
Erica says that her spirit animal is a butterfly, and she sees a butterfly every day. Did you see one today?
I did at my at my house. I have a little butterfly.
I bought you a butterfly magnet, and I was gonna give it to you, but I forgot it at home. Like legitimately, forgot it at home. I'll give it to you tomorrow, and that'll be it. So, so couldn't ask for a better couple to be together. And I know, John, you're like probably my last really, really close friend, other than Tyler, hey big guy, to get married. And you probably hear some of us tease and kid about how marriage is sometimes it's a gift. It's a gift, you know. Sometimes it can be hard at times, and sometimes you're just like, why did I do this? But at the end of the day, I'm gonna save it. At the end of the day, marriage is wonderful, and I would not have met my wife unless you forced me to go out that night. And then a girl came up to me, and now we're married. And I can genuinely say I work from home, and the best part of my day, every day, is when my wife comes home and smiles at me. That is the best part of my day. And I'm excited for you. I did rescue that. And I'm excited for you to have that, John, you and Erica. And I wish you guys nothing but the best. I love y'all, and I don't have a glass, but cheers. Hey, yeah. Someone else is coming up. Thanks.
I figured I'd just kind of bogart there. It seems like we got a room filled with maybe the groom side, but I almost want to represent the Wilkins side of the family here. I got some really, really, really big shoes to fill. As you can see from these pictures right here, some of the ones that are coming across from Erica's childhood, it'll show her father. And I just want to tell you what a great guy he is and was, or however you want to describe him. But she comes from some very, very good genes, and he was a spectacular human being. And I know he is sitting here proud and happy to see Erica happy and to be with somebody that's going to treat her the way that he was, which was a great husband and a human being. And so I've been fortunate enough. Erica will call me her uncle. I'm not her uncle, I'm her cousin. Okay? But she calls me her uncle because I'm so old. Right? So, and I'm honored to be that guy. I'm honored to be the guy that has been able to walk with her at the drill team ceremonies in Friendswood. I've been honored to walk with her on occasion for other things. I've been honored to have her listen to an old man talk to her about life lessons and stuff like that. So, like I said, big shoes to fill. But I'm also the guy that represents the Wilkins side of the family, so you'll see the lateness to events, and you'll see. But what we also do is that we're also a very dedicated family. We're very dedicated to our relationships and our spouses. So I'm proud to say that I've been married 30 years to my wife, Reagan. And we dated in high school, and so it can work. You know, that's what people nowadays don't realize, is that marriage can work. People lose the fact that it's 50% divorce rate. It's this and that. But nowadays it's changing. It's great that they're, 25, 26, that we're waiting a little bit older to get married, maybe, that we know each other a little bit better. And I think that's the nice thing about change in our society today, is that marriage is not as bad as the thing as it was, that we have good odds. The odds are in our favor now. So I'm very blessed to be here. I'm very blessed to be participating in this wedding, and I'm very happy for Erica and Jonathan. So thank you for having me.
No, I'm hugging you.
Oh.
No, not me. I'm hugging you. Thank you. Yes.
I'm not good at speeches, but I'm decent at poems, so I went ahead and put my thoughts into a poem instead. Erica knows this. Okay. By the way, I'm Alicia. It's nice to meet a lot of you guys. To the friend I respect and admire the most, dear Erica Wilkins, here's your toast. It's hard to sum up what you mean to me, so I'll start this toast out with some history. You were my customer when we met years ago, coming in daily to get cryo. We would talk and laugh every time that I'd freeze you, and you became my employee because I said that I need you. Almost every day, we'd have deep conversations, and for all my weird stories, you would listen with patience. And that is when our true friendship began, helping each other through thick and through thin. As our friendship grew, so did our faith. We relied on God more, and together we would pray. Rarely now will we have a good talk without ending our convo with a prayer to God. You've been such a rock, and I love that about you. I'm not sure what my life would be like without you. We're the same personality. We learned through a test, which makes so much sense because we're both just the best. We used to have talks about dating and life, and I knew someday you'd be someone's wife. And now here you are with your perfect match. When I met him, I thought, now that one's a catch. You two are so perfect and just meant to be. Just look at you now, it is so clear to see. So I raise my fake glass with the words that I've said. Cheers, everyone, to the soon-to-be wed. Thank you.
Thank you. I love you. That was beautiful. That was perfect. I loved it. So cute. Thanks.
Where's your poem? I don't have one. Sorry to disappoint, but I don't have a poem, so this will just be straight off the dome. My name is. Did that rhyme? I honestly didn't intend that. I should get into poetry. So my name's Todd Neese. I was John's roommate for a couple of years, and I met him at church through community group with Mike, that good-looking guy that was up here earlier talking. So for the first couple of years of me and John's friendship, John and Mike lived together, as Mike was describing earlier, and I was just really jealous that I lived with my brother, who's great, but not as cool as these guys. And anyways, and then Mike made the, awesome decision to get married to Sydney. And so me and John, being young single men, decided to move in together. And then my brother, who aforementioned, moved in with us. Anyways, so me and John lived together for 2 years right before I got married. And I got engaged in March of last year, so that's like right as COVID was coming in, right? And so that was a really crazy and weird and tough time for a lot of people, but I look back on that time with a whole lot of fondness, and that's because of the time I got to spend with Jonathan on a day-to-day basis. So we both, like everybody else on the planet, were working from home, and neither of us were as productive as we should be with two young, again, guys just hanging out in the living room. It was a lot of fun pretending to work, interrupting each other's Zoom calls, throwing the football, going outside and playing, I guess, what could be described as neighborhood golf with tennis balls, whatever. Just doing a bunch of stupid stuff. And then we forming we called it a quarantine with my wife and her roommates. And then me and John just every night getting to spend a lot of time together. So I don't know how you feel about that time, John. I know it was a lot of Todd that you had to deal with, but I look back on it and was just, I mean, I remember talking to my wife Julie about it, just how thankful we were. That was a tough time for us and a lot of stress. Planning a wedding is not easy. Erica, I'm sure you can identify with that. And you were very, very supportive of us, and I was very thankful to be able to talk to you and you be able to bounce ideas off of me and encourage me and tell me I'm not stupid and I'm not an idiot for being stressed about this, that, or the other. So I'm very excited for you two. Mike said, Erica, that we've never seen John like this with a girl. And I can definitely attest to that being the case. I remember coming back from my honeymoon, and we were doing a golf trip, and John was talking about going on a date with a girl. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then he was like, hey, could I borrow your projector? And I was like, sure, whatever. My wife's projector, sorry, Julie. And then you came the next day, because we had a golf round the next day, and you're like, man, I really like this girl. I really, really like this girl. Me and Mike were like, what is going on? Man, and just few weeks later, you saying like, man, I think this really might be it. Man, it's really cool to see you guys come from that time to now, and to get to hang out with you, Erica. You were so sweet, and so, I mean, Mike said that earlier, just always asking questions, so unassuming and so welcoming. Man, I felt like within 30 seconds of knowing you, that you really, really liked me. I don't know if that's the case or not, but just like, that's the way you make people feel. You're just like, I felt like I was the most important person when I was talking to you. And I could really learn how to get that skill, because that's not how I operate. But anyways, enough about me. Actually, I'm about to talk more about me. So when John moved in with me, he was struggling in a lot of areas, and I did my best, Erica, to train him in some different ways. So he took about it took him a year and a half to learn where a trash can was, which is tough. He is the outdoor trash can. The cooking is getting better. We've been working on that too. And the cleanliness, I'll finish with this story. When he moved out, or when I moved out, I guess, and he moved into his new apartment with my brother, I went over, they had us over for like a triple date or whatever, and so we showed up, and the apartment was just spotless. It looked beautiful, and I was like, well, John, it's really, really nice that you decided to start cleaning when you moved out of the house with me, and I was just really impressed. And you go, yeah, Todd, man, like, I'm turning over a new leaf, like, I'm gonna start cleaning, I'm like, man, that's really great. And then I went over a month later, or 2 months later, whatever it was, and man, it was tough. It's real tough. But Erica, hopefully you're a lot cleaner. Fingers crossed. If not, I know of some good maids that I could get you in contact with, and we could get you guys set up. But in all seriousness, super excited for you. Me and Julie are so pumped for you guys. So excited. Marriage truly is a gift and a learning experience, but I know I'm a better man for it, and I know that Erica is going to do the same thing for you. So, love you guys, and excited for you guys. Oh, we got two coming up. Nikki, it's you.
I can run one of those. I can run a piece of man. I can do it.
Okay, everyone, my name is Nikki, and I've known these two for a whopping 7 months. I was trying to give myself a pep talk in the corner over there, because I would be very upset if I left this dinner and didn't at least say a few words to these two. So, I mentioned I've known these two for 7 months, and here I am standing. Now, why is that? Well, I met Erica at La La Land with my wonderful fiance back there. And Erica is the type of person that when she sees an outfit she likes, she makes a comment. So she said something very positive about my fiance, and my fiance is actually a little shy at times, and so I thought, here's a cheerful person offering such kind words. You need to seize the moment, okay? So I tried to broker a conversation between the two, and they hit it off, and I think all three of us hit it off. She mentioned she was there that day for Jonathan's birthday. She was getting him a coffee, and I believe you were going to get him what was it later? Avocado toast.
Well, we got
A pizza
later.
too, that's right,
Y'all had
yes.
just moved here from California.
And we had just moved here from LA. I'm from Pennsylvania though, so don't lump me in with those Californians. No, but they were very welcoming. And I was sitting there in the corner and I was wondering, I've known these people for 7 months. What is it about them that has struck me so profoundly? Why has their involvement in my life led to dramatic changes? And because I do feel like I'm surrounded by some wonderful people since I moved here, and they've introduced fantastic people to me over the last few months. And I think it comes down to two things that they both share, and that's character and style. Now, I'll get to the style part in a second. Character, that's easy to define because they both care profoundly about the people around them. They mean well, they live by God, and one day I hope to take after their example. And I know we're going to go to church in a few weeks together, buddy. I'm really excited for it. Very excited for it. Now, the style component, they are shamelessly themselves. Erica has a fantastic sense of humor. Jonathan, you do as well. And Jonathan has some interesting tidbits about him. He's a carnivore. We share that together. Some people don't really get it. Well, we've eaten raw liver together. So you know what, my friend? I say cheers to that, right? So I just want to say very quickly, I love these two. You set a fantastic example. My fiance and I, we want what you have. So cheers to that.
I'll be brief, but my name is Jessica, and I've had the privilege and honor of knowing Erica for 5 years, I think? I think it's been 5 years. So we teach at a dance studio together, and when she came to the studio, I was super excited because we just instantly connected, and I feel like the Lord just really brought her for me because we've just been through a lot together, and I feel like having her friendship has just meant a lot in my heart, just going through, like Alicia was saying, thick and thin, right? So just being able to have her there to give a hug when it's needed, a shoulder to cry on, just anything that we've been through. So, yeah, I say that, and that Erica really has... she's been that person for me where I feel like I can just trust her with anything, and I think that is a huge character piece, that anybody can feel like they can share something with you and feel valued and feel respected and feel like, wow, I can really share this with you, and feel like you can take it to heart and pray for me. And that makes a true friend. So with that, I'll share with her, and we both were sharing our woes of being single. And just like, all right, let's pray about this, And so we prayed, and the Lord brought my wonderful husband almost a year. We'll be married in November a year. Last year, we met in March during COVID. It can happen. And we met at a worship night. It was wonderful, amazing. So, of course, I go to Erica. We've been praying. Oh, my gosh, you won't believe it. I met this man. He's wonderful. We get engaged in 4 months. So anyway, I show her my ring. I was like, girl, you're about to put this ring on, and in faith, we are going to pray that your husband is coming. Because I believe that when you pray in faith, God responds, and he does. Because Jonathan literally, I don't even know, maybe 2 weeks later, he shows up. That's how amazing our God is. So anyway, Jonathan, you are a gift from God to Erica, and we've been praying for you. And what a delight. What an amazing opportunity as her friend and sister in Christ to be able to like witness this union that God's brought. And I'm super honored. And so, yes, I can speak on behalf of Tim and I, my husband, that enjoy tomorrow. It will go by really fast. So just enjoy every moment. Don't stress. Don't worry about anything. Let us bridesmaids take care of it and anybody else. And enjoy your honeymoon. It is so much fun. It's wonderful. Connect, relax, enjoy. And then after that, enjoy the day, each day with each other. I'll say on behalf of him and I, we are learning. It's a process, as we all know, those that are married in here. But what I have learned, and the Lord's revealed to me, be quick to serve, be full of joy, and choose joy every day. Because joy is huge in your heart. When you have joy, everything else flows. The goodness of the Lord flows. Be slow to speak. That's really hard for me. Be slow to speak. Choose joy and love. And as you grow together, you are going to become more like Christ. And I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to be your friend beside it. I can't wait to pray with you. Just like Alicia was saying, every time we have our phone conversation, it ends with a prayer. And I pray, and we all pray, that God's hand protect your marriage, bring you a life full of blessing and honor. I love y'all.
I'll take the mic.
Hello, everyone.
Best friend Joanna.
For those of you who don't know me, I guess I should introduce myself as best friend Joanna. That's not what I have written down, though, but it's what Erica has referred to me as for forever.
Closer to the mic.
No, I don't want to.
Come on.
Yes.
I want to start by thanking the Webb family for this beautiful rehearsal dinner, and Miss Tamara for all the festivities this weekend, and for raising the bride-to-be into the woman that she is today. So first, a toast to the Webbs and Miss Tamara. I've known Erica ever since we were 12 years old. We were going into 7th grade, and although it wasn't friendship at first sight, as Erica loves to tell a story about, it was a friendship meant to last ages. We've been through the highest of highs and lowest of lows, and I know that everything happens for a reason, and God placed Erica and I in each other's lives to be a constant reminder of what loyalty, friendship, and faith looks like. At least that's what Erica is to me. I know that God also brought Jonathan into Erica's life for a number of reasons, one of those being that you treat her like the queen that she is. And Jonathan, I can't thank you enough for all of the happiness you have brought her, and know that you will continue to bring her as y'all start this next chapter of your lives together. I remember the first time Erica introduced Jonathan to Christopher, my husband, and I at dinner in Houston. And Erica was telling a story, y'all all know she's a storyteller, that I had heard like a million times, and she was telling the boys, and I was ignoring what she was saying. But I was looking at Jonathan and just watching the way that he looked at her. And it was a way that any woman would want their future husband to look at them, a look of complete admiration and awe. And from then on, I knew that not only Jonathan was obviously lucky to have found a woman like Erica, but that Erica was also lucky to have found a man like Jonathan. Erica, from 12 years old to 29 years old, we've been through it all, and I can't believe we have finally made it to this weekend. I'm beyond excited to stand by your side tomorrow, and even more excited that the man you're walking down the aisle to is Jonathan. I know that your dad is going to be there smiling down from the best seat in the house. And Jonathan, I know that you never got a chance to meet Mr. Eric, but he would have loved you and welcomed you into Erica's life just like the rest of us have, because of the way you love and cherish his baby girl. With that, let's raise a glass to the future Mr. and Mrs. Webb.
You got it.
Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Jenna. I am Erica's maid of honor. A little bit about our friendship. Erica and I first met 8 years ago during our time as Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. The first time I ever met her, we were both at auditions. It was finals. I was a veteran. She was a new rookie hopeful coming in. And she just happened to be sitting right behind me. If you know Erica, you know she's a showstopper. She always has the best dance solos. So if you haven't seen a video, you have to see one. When she finished her dance, she came back to sit down. I turned around with excitement, and the first words I ever said to her were, "Your solo was amazing." She said, "Oh my gosh, thank you," and the rest is history. To be honest, we both can't pinpoint the actual moment we became best friends, and I think that's because with Erica, you don't have to try to be friends. Erica truly is the most selfless, kind, talented, and inclusive person I know. Oh, sorry, I lost my spot. 1 second. She has a grateful heart and will do anything for the people she cares about in her life. If there's anyone in this world I trust more to guard, protect, love, and nurture her heart, it's Jonathan. I remember Erica calling me while she was getting ready to go on her first date with Jonathan. She told me that she wanted to send me code words just in case it went bad so I could help her get out of the situation. She said if it was going good, she would text me Corey and Topanga because that is one of her favorite couples from Boy Meets World. And if it was bad, she would text me Mr. Feeney. The date was about 45 minutes to an hour in, and I hadn't received a text yet. So obviously I needed to figure out what was going on. I was like, is this a good thing? Was she abducted? I don't know what's going on. So I message her, I say, how's the date going? A few minutes go by and I receive a text back simply saying 100% my husband. I guess Jonathan impressed her so much that she forgot about the code words. When Erica called through the phone, she had a calmness about her, like she truly did know that Jonathan was 100% her husband. And after meeting Jonathan myself, I could see all of the wonderful things that she sees in him. Erica's been waiting her whole life for this man and this weekend. It's been a dream for her for as long as I've known her. So Jonathan, please take really good care of my best friend. Love her through the good and the bad times. Laugh with her, and most importantly, always dance with her.
Maybe you gotta stand up there.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
My name's Tyler. I am the younger sibling and best man to the guy that's about to say I do tomorrow. It's kind of tough to follow up a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, but I'll give it a try. So as the youngest sibling, I have to give it from my perspective as honestly as I can, and that is that wasn't even a joke. One of the biggest reasons I respect you, John, is growing up, I had a very key advantage, and that is I got to watch you go through life, and you didn't have that. You were the older brother. So with that, you had to take on your successes and failures kind of solo. And I was able to sit back and take notes and watch it all happen. But there was a lot of trial and errors in your life, and luckily for you, you started really early with the trials and the errors. So we'll focus on those for a little bit. So John, I don't know if y'all know, John, not yet. So there's a point at the end, don't worry. So John, you may not see him today as the great man sitting next to Erica, and we all love him for who he is. And what you wouldn't know about John is he was the more rebellious child of the two of us. That started really young. I would say the first story that comes to mind, it started in the 2nd grade. But let me back up. The problem, John was rebellious, but he wasn't good at being rebellious. It's like it wasn't fitting for him. He had to test it out and make sure that wasn't the life he wanted to take. For example, 2nd grade, John goes to a friend's house. He watches a movie that he's not supposed to watch. I think the movie was Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts. I think he's like 7 or 8 at this time. It's a good movie. Interesting. And John, it's fine, it's innocent, but John takes it one step further and he goes to school the next day and tells his 2nd grade teacher all of his favorite parts of the movie. So what happened, John? You got caught. We call that fumbling at the 1-yard line. Fast forward a little bit, we'll get to middle school. John went through a bit of a pyro phase in middle school. He liked to play with fire a little bit, just like every other 13-year-old boy. Specifically the serial killers, but so John saw a video on the internet of the video of Jimi Hendrix lighting his guitar on fire. Light bulb goes on in John's head and he goes, I want to do that. Problem is I don't have a guitar. My dad just bought him a brand new guitar. So what'd you do? You light it in gasoline in a gazebo, in a wooden gazebo. The gazebo's fine. The gazebo's fine. Lights it on fire, boom, Jimi Hendrix. The problem is, again, you fumbled at the 1-yard line. You left the guitar right outside the back porch where Dad has to come home from work every single day, and he looks down and sees your guitar, and what happened? John got grounded.
There's a theme here.
Yeah, you can see the recurring theme. But we'll fast forward a little bit. John, he kind of got all that out of his system, passed high school, and he gets to college post-grad. He meets good people. He meets people that will hold him accountable, people like Mike here, Clint, Zach, Seth, kind of try to point all of you out, but people that he knows that he can rely on that will keep him on a straight path, people that he sees value in that will help him grow into the good man that he knew he was meant to be, because he wasn't good at being rebellious. But John, that doesn't mean he's perfect by any means. He definitely has his imperfections, but it's those imperfections that make a marriage perfect. Erica, I know you have those as well. And I know the first question I asked John when the two of you met, I said, are you making sure you're not putting her on a pedestal? Because like my fiance told me, when you're on a pedestal, you give them a little room to fall. And the first thing he said was, I love all of her imperfections. So, thanks. So, I mean, I know John is, I don't know if you know some of John's imperfections. He has a few, not too many. For example, did you know he likes to sleep with a blow dryer?
Yes, I know that.
Did y'all know that? Todd, you lived with him for a little bit.
I know she knows about it. And it's brilliant.
It is the most annoying thing you've ever heard in your life. When you're trying to fall asleep, sharing a room with him, and you hear at like 1 a.m, a blow dryer going, it's not what you want at all. Because I was gonna get you like a space heater on I didn't see it on your registry, but I thought that would be a really good gift. But Erica, you can keep him warm from now on. He doesn't need a blow dryer anymore. When you're on your honeymoon in Tulum, right? If you see a blow dryer in the room, just throw it out the window. You don't need that. But the thing that excites me the most about the union of Erica and John, Erica, with all of your charm, your beauty, the respect you've shown my family, myself, the love you've opened yourself up to us, the thing that excites me the most is now John does have a partner that he can take on through life. He doesn't have to go solo and make some of those silly decisions that we've seen. And we know that he'll be better for it, as will you. So we can all raise a glass, mine's over there, to John and Erica and all of the trouble that they'll keep each other out of. Yeah. So my mom's speech is next. Mike's gonna go ahead and read that, and just from the perspective of Kim Webb, not Michael McCullough.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man. Fun fact, Mrs. Webb was my 7th grade Sunday school teacher. And John and I didn't put that connection together until I was cleaning out my room when I was moving from our apartment, and I found a picture, and I said, why is John's mom in this picture of my 7th grade Sunday school class? And then full circle, She's the reason I'm a Christian, I guess. So, Okay, so like Tyler said, this is from Mrs. Webb's perspective, one of the sweetest people I've ever met. She's raised amazing sons, and I love Mrs. Webb. She is like a second mother. So, okay. John and Erica's journey started in a unique way. In the midst of the pandemic, when people were staying at home, activity stopped as we knew it. But God did not stop. But God did not stop and brought you guys together online. And we are so happy for that. Erica, may I say how much I love our visits, our Chop House lunches, your energy, introducing me to a virtual reality experience, Dreamscape, and your obvious love for the Lord and for my son, Jonathan, who is a sweet angel. I added the angel part. She would say that, though. Yes, she would. Tamara, I am thrilled to have you. I am thrilled, as you know, to have Erica join the family. And I thank you for making Jonathan feel so welcome into your family. Jonathan, your family and friends are here because they care for you. You've been a very good friend to them, and they are truly elated for you and Erica. They are here to show you their support, not only here and now, but in the future to encourage, when needed, and to celebrate new seasons of life. I have prayed for you your whole life, and I've had many answered prayers, one prayer sitting next to you. And now have privilege of continuing in prayer, interceding for both you and Erica. A dear loved one sent me a poem. It starts by saying, God maketh no mistakes. He is sovereign and takes us through trials and gives us victories and happy times, challenges and joy. You and Erica will experience many. And I pray that these experiences in your marriage will increase your strength, faith, and love as you live life together. With a prayer, family and friends, you are blessed and have a good foundation. I share with you my true joy, my love, and my happiness for you both. So if everyone would raise their glass, I wish you God's richest blessings for a long, happy, healthy, Christ-filled life together. That's it.
So this is my real cousin, not
So,
my uncle.
Yeah, second cousin actually.
Oh, that's
So
true.
it's actually,
Second cousin.
Yeah.
You're right.
so I'm Ross, right? I've known Erica for about 17 years. Dude, it's crazy, my whole life. So it's like, she's great. And I'm glad this is happening. A little bit about Erica, like how she works is we don't see each other like a lot. Maybe we're like major holiday relatives. Like you know those relatives you see like maybe 3 times a year. So, but it's like we go to like Christmas and I feel like I've seen her every single day. You know? That's how she is. You talk and it's like nothing, no break in between. Well, Jonathan, I don't know where he is. He said, "Oh, he's coming up. I'm leaving because I already know this is about to bomb." Oh, he used the restroom. Okay. I don't know if we should wait because I feel like his reaction would be really funny, but we're not gonna wait because he can.
We're getting on film. We gotta get.
Yeah, get on film right there. Yeah. I have a funny story about the first time me and Jonathan met. I'm going to speak for all guys here. We size each other up. Right? I look at you, I'm sizing you up. Okay? I hope you're not intimidated. I'm sizing you up. I'm sizing you up. I'm sizing you up. Not you. Not you. Not you. It's okay. Anyway, so my mom says, all right, Erica's bringing her new boyfriend. And I'm like, okay.
I've never met I think I met like one other boyfriend, but this is like a major meeting because I'm like, that was like before I was conscious. So like, I'm conscious now. I'm ready to meet this guy. And I'm like, all right, I'm imagining him in my head, and I'm like, all right, I think I can deal with it, right? I'm kind of 5'7", a little stubby, that's just instantly what goes in my head.
Oh, here he is. He's home.
Okay. What's up, Jonathan? I got my eyes on you, buddy.
This is for you.
This is for you right here. So I'm talking about the first time we met, okay? Okay. Now, I know nothing really happened, like that was funny in the scenario. In my head, the gears were turning. This is all my perspective, right? Erica walks in. Hey, Erica. Hug. Relative. Yearly relative. Jonathan walks in. My jaw hits the floor. I look this guy up and down, right? I'm like, maybe if I get a good hit on him, he's down unexpectedly. But this guy is scary. I want everyone to look at Jonathan right now. Imagine the first time you're seeing this guy. He's scary. And don't tell him that, because that power will go to his head, I already know. No. Yeah, exactly. Jonathan's scary, bro. So, we sit down, and I'm like, God, dude, there's got to be something. And I'm with my girlfriend at the time. I'm like, okay, the drool, you can do less drooling, please. It's making me feel bad. It's making everyone else feel uncomfortable. Let's go upstairs. Adults are talking. So we're at the kitchen table, we're talking, and freaking conversation is going great, right? He's telling us about the first date, and I'm like, are you just like referencing a movie? Like, this first date did not happen. I need like footage. And so I keep looking, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? There's got to be one flaw that I can find. And after your brother's speech, I'm liking it. I'm liking all the flaws, Jonathan. It's really helping it go down smoother, I love you, Jonathan, actually. I actually do. I like you a lot. Because I couldn't find a flaw. I was like, this man is just too perfect. And you look perfect right now. I'm sorry. You both do. And I'm really happy for you. I really am. And I think he is perfect. You might have to give me that spot, Yeah, so she's perfect too. She's perfect. Yeah, she is. Yeah. So I just wanted to say, I hope y'all enjoyed my little banter or whatever.
Love you, Ross.
Yeah,
So much.
love you too. I love all of y'all. I love all of you.
Hey, at least you got sized up. Not sized up at all.
That was great, man.
You probably just think something person.
All right, so the speech I'm about to give is from my dad, who can't be here at the moment, but I don't think there's going to be as many jokes in it, so I don't know if we can follow that up, but we'll give it a good shot. So these are from the words of Perry Webb, John and I's dad, and I'm just going to read it straight from the page. Hopefully I don't mispronounce anything. He's got a pretty good vocabulary, so see how it goes. If I were to ask you tonight if anyone would like to have the desires of their heart fulfilled, I am certain to a person that my offer would be readily accepted. For those of us more seasoned in our years, many of our desires have indeed been fulfilled. And on the other hand, for those here on the younger side of life, many of those desires are still in waiting. I suppose the salient question would be, how are those desires formed and nurtured? Or more to the point, how did they get there? When he was about 10 years of age, I recall a conversation with Jonathan where he was quizzing me on the factors in play as to the selection of and the ongoing marriage to my wife, Kim. To this day, I am not quite sure what he saw on the television or what conversation he had with his friends that prompted such curiosities. He wanted to know how Kim and I met and what I felt when we were together. He even asked how I knew Kim was the person I was to marry. And he went on to question if I ever got tired of being married to her. Sensing that my responses would be measured carefully, I paused to be sure I selected just the right words. And while I don't need to get into everything we discussed, especially if I ever get tired of being married to Kim, I will share my responses to his most pressing question, how did I know Kim was the one? And my answer was simply, you will know it in your heart. Erica and Jonathan, you both have traveled very winding paths before your trails ever crossed one another. Parts of your journeys were memorable, and other parts contained difficult lessons. But without question, the paths you each took helped you to define and seek faithfully the person of faith and the character that you each wanted to share your lives with. And it is evident to me tonight that you both have indeed found the answers you have sought in the desires of your own hearts. I believe the appropriate scripture for all of this is found in Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. In other words, he asks that we draw near to him to accept his guidance, which is found in the treasures of his word and in the soft whisper of his spirit. And in such practices of delight, our hearts will mirror his more closely, and thus our desires will be in keeping with the very best he has planned for us. Jonathan, in the heyday of COVID, you may remember you had lunch with your mother and me and shared how you were unable to date anyone due to the fact that you couldn't go anywhere to meet people and that you had resorted to listing your profile on a dating site. And while that approach seemed logical, what stood out to us was you listed in your profile as the single most important attribute you sought in anyone you wished to date. Your words were simply, you wanted to find someone who loved the Lord with all her heart and placed him first in her life and in all that she does. When we read those words, you chose as a criteria of pursuit, your mother and I knew your winding path was indeed straightening. And when you shared with us about meeting Erica on your first date, the excitement and enthusiasm you exhibited when recalling the events of that evening were something we quickly noted. For never had we witnessed such heartfelt exuberance from you. And Erica, I will always remember the evening you shared with us your response to your first date with Jonathan. When it is over, you texted your dear friend Jenna, who inquired how things had gone that evening. And your brief but profound words of reply were simply, husband 100%. And we learned that you likewise had set your own criteria of finding a spouse as one who loved the Lord and was willing to bring that love as a priority into the relationship. My deepest congratulations to both for seeking the Lord's desires before you sought one another and making his standards yours. And for your steadfast commitment to what you knew he had revealed in each of you and your obedience in holding fast to that calling, you delighted yourselves in the Lord, and he indeed gave you the desires of your hearts. I want to encourage you both as you set foot tomorrow into a new river of life together, that you will always continue to delight yourself in the Lord. Delight in his standards for enduring love, for purity in your faith with one another. Tenaciously pursue him first in all things and then allow life to unfold as he has ordained. Know that there will be both good times and difficult times ahead, but give thanks to him. So give thanks to him for them both while enjoying the good times and allowing him to redeem the difficult ones to his glory and for your growth. Jonathan, your mother and I are so very happy for what the Lord has done in your heart and in your life. And Erica, you are indeed a blessing, a treasure, and an answered prayer to the desires of our hearts. So all of our love to you both, and may God pour his richest blessings upon you. That's it.
I was in the back of the room. I heard it. I just didn't want to walk up and then is it who's next? I think we're done. Oh, it's my turn. Okay, it's my turn. Wait, so Denise, coach, go.
Denise has a speech.
Coach.
Hi, everybody. I'm the coach. My name is Denise, and I had the honor and privilege of coaching Erica at LSU. And since I'm in this position right now with these ladies, I'd like to ask for the Tiger Girls that were on the team with her to come up with me. I'm kind of pulling this on you, but Lauren, Erica, Emily Kelty, Kristen Quick, am I missing anyone? Yay, let's give it up for them, people. I think sometimes it's hard for certain people to come into a situation where there's so much love and there's a lot of beautiful and gracious things being said about this couple. And I think y'all have nailed all of it, and it's been wonderful. And I felt like maybe there's nothing else to say, but there's so much more to say. So I hesitated a little bit, but I wanted to talk about the first time I met Erica. And I got an email the night before auditions, and for a dancer in college, it's especially at LSU at the time, it was super competitive. I get an email, and it was very short, and it said something along the lines of, "My name is Erica Wilkins. I'm supposed to be the captain for a team, but I don't know if I'm going to be the captain for the team because I really want to be on your team. And then if I make your team, then I might not be the captain for the team. And so I'll see you later. Bye."
Am I going to make your team?
Right. So can you just let me know, P.S., can you just let me know if I might make your team? I'm reading this email at 2 a.m, and I'm like, oh, God. Give me the strength and the grace to, like, actually have empathy for this, truly for this dancer, because it's intense in that process. And I know that she was sending that from a place of anxiety and wanting to reach out to somebody. And here I am as a coach just sifting through emails. Anyhow, the next day comes, and this beautiful dancer in a pink scarf walks up to the table and presents her application. And I have this little photographic memory, and I see Erica Wilkins. And I look up, and as I'm looking at her, and she's got this beautiful, bright smile, in my mind, I can hear, "And if I'm going to make your team, can I make your team?" But she's looking at me, and she's saying nothing, totally silent, but she's smiling, like saying those words in her head. So I take her application, I say, "Good luck to you, and if you need anything, let these ladies know." And I looked at my assistant coach at the time, and I said, "I hope she's so amazing," because the courage it took to send that email, or maybe a little bit of ignorance, but just the courage, like, I hope she's so good. And to this day, I will say, the moment she went across the floor, I remember putting my pen down because we're all critiquing, right? And I just watched her dance. I put my pen down. I had no critiques to make. I was so happy to witness a dancer doing what she loved. And I don't want to say proving herself, but just having something to dance for. And I could tell that you had that passion and drive from this woman next to you as well, who it's been an honor to be a part of your life. So my relationship with Erica has gone from being a coach and being a friend. And in the moments that I feel the most tired, and you're 10 years younger than me, right? I can always call Erica and talk to her to check in on her. For myself, that's what I tell myself. I'm going to call her to check in on Erica. But what she gives back to me is so beautiful and wonderful, and I've heard it from all of you tonight. And it gets me choked up, and I'm so thankful to be in your life. And when you asked me to be in your wedding, I'm like, oh, and we're going to Miami for this bachelorette trip. They're going to be wearing these little bikinis and everything else.
Whatever, you look great.
But I'm honored to still be in your life. I think that we will always be in each other's lives for the milestones. Jonathan, I have such respect for you and your family and the friends that I have met. I think you've found your match, Erica. I'm so truly happy for you. Jonathan, I'm very happy for you as well. And you can tell I don't have anything planned, so I'm just kind of speaking from my heart. And there's a quote that my father always told me when I was younger. He said, there's never any traffic on the extra mile. Mm-hmm. And going back to where I was going with calling you when I get tired, you know, the traffic, the extra mile. When I get tired and I don't want to do anything else, and I would rather just go to sleep, you will pop into my mind. I'll call you. We'll have a conversation. I will leave that conversation with my heart so full. And I think you do too. And then we just keep cruising on. And I think our relationship is so beautiful and wonderful. I'm so thankful I met you. Pink scarf. Please, I hope I make it, because if I don't make it here, then I might not be captain of my next team. But I saw you go across those jazz walks. Girl, I'm like, she's gonna make it. And I love you so much.
Beautiful coach.
Yeah, thank you for letting me just speak a bunch of words. And I don't know if y'all want to say anything, but...
We've been waiting for this. I think we know. I think we all have.
Do you guys want to flank me?
No,
Two on
go
each
ahead.
side? No,
Go
no,
ahead.
stay
Oh, sure.
up here with me. Two on each side. Super quick.
All about the
super
support.
quick.
We got you.
And here's the thing. I wanted this to be funny. That's my gift. But it can't be. I've been trying to find things. I could talk about the time that you were dancing too hard and your weave came out. I could talk about so many different things. But what continues to pop up to me and what I feel like I have to share with you very, very quickly is we're like your sisters. When Wilkins came to LSU, we knew that she, was from Texas, and we got to meet her mom. We love you so much.
Tam.
Okay, Tam Rock.
She became all of our moms.
We love Tam. And I know that all of us felt just really strongly, especially, those of us who live in Louisiana, that we just wanted Miss Tamara to know that we had her baby. And we wanted you to know that you had sisters. And what do sisters do? We talk about boys, we talk about love. And as your sister, we all got to go through so many ups and downs, and we went through so much together as Tiger Girls, as human beings. And as your friend, I got to be there for you as you dated different people. And I also knew you really well. And there was something that you told me in the very beginning that was obvious, that there is something that you're waiting for, and it's a recognition, and it's a remembering, and it's a place in your heart that where your dad is, and I always knew that every time you dated, you would come talk to us, and it would be like, all right, let's make the list of the pros and the cons, but actually let's shoot it straight, like, is that feeling there? And sometimes it didn't matter how great the guy was on paper. There would just be this thing where you would just always be like, I don't know if my dad would vibe with him. I don't know if my dad would think he was good enough. I don't know if he's enough like my dad, and like sometimes you would be like, am I, do I have too high of a standard? Like, is there something wrong with me? And it's like, hell no, you don't. Like, you remember that feeling, and you know what that love is, and you protected that love, and you protected that space in your heart. And we always, had the chance to be there, to be like, dude, no, like, let that one go. The right one's coming. Let him go. The right one's coming. And everyone knows Wilkins has strong prayers, especially when she prays in her closet. And I knew knew there was something really big happening. There had been a lot of closet prayers. I had called in on so many. I was FaceTiming. I got in my closet. I was like, I'll get in mine. Let's do this together. But I knew when she was about to go on a date, and she had a couple different dates. Because it's 2021, we date like we used to in the olden days. We actually go on dates and like talk to several people and see if we want to go on a second date. Wilkins was really good at it. And she would, it would be true dating though, like, not my type. She would go on a date and you mostly be like, no, honestly, sorry, but I loved those calls. It was mostly like, no. And it was so fun because I'm like, she's so cool. I haven't gone on a date since 2011, but she's so cool. She's flicking them off. She's like, no. And either way, I knew we did a closet prayer. I had heard about Jonathan. I saw pics. I was excited. I was super excited. And she called me after, and the first thing she said to me was so beautiful. And she was like, I really think I know. And she's like, I know I've dated several different people this year, and like some people, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But he reminds me of my dad. And my heart just like, whew. I've never heard her say that, and she was like, this is like the feeling that I've been waiting for. He reminds me of my dad. I just want my dad to meet him. I feel like my dad already knows him. I feel like he knows my dad. And there was just a truth there that you can't deny, and there was a place there that you protected for so long. And I'm just so, so happy you're here, Jonathan. We love you so much, and we've been praying for you for a long time. And I think you are amazing, and you deserve her, and she deserves you. So thank you. And Miss Tamara, we love you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Are you saying something?
Y'all just all say hi and bye.
Yeah.
Say hi and bye.
Say hi and bye.
Love y'all. Love y'all so much. Love you. Love you. Love you.
Okay, it's my turn. I know it's not customary for the bride to speak, but for anyone who knows me, there's only two things I love more than dancing. Well, now three, but two of my favorite things are writing and speaking, and I actually get that from my dad, who also was a great writer and great speaker. And so I not only have two things for us. If I told you I was going to keep it short, I would just be lying to you.
Come on, pink scarf.
It's me. I'll do my best because I know it's late. But I wrote a poem, and I have a journal entry that I will read to you. But I'm going to start with the light poem first. So, first of all, I'm going to breathe for a second and say thank you to each and every single one of you who put forth the effort to be here to celebrate Jonathan and I. We are so, so blessed to have all of you in our lives, for you to take the time and energy and thought to be here. We love you all so, so much, and we can't wait to celebrate tomorrow with you. So yes, just thank you all for being here. Okay, for my poem. And I wrote this a little bit on the fly, so hopefully it all rhymes, but we'll find out. To all my bridesmaids, what would I do? I wouldn't be here today without all of you. Each one of you has played such a special part. I'm grateful to have you in my life and forever in my heart. I don't know where to start or where to begin, so I suppose I'll start with my oldest friend. Since the 7th grade, you've been by my side. Through thick and thin, you're my true ride or die. I know God gave us each other. You were there for me with my dad, and I was there for you with your mother. I know they will both be smiling down from above, sending our friendship lots of love. What would I do without you? I truly don't know. I love you so much. Thanks for being my friend all these years, Joe. Woo! Joanna. Choosing LSU was the best decision I ever made. I now have friendships that I know will never fade. A team, a unit, and so much more.
When I chose to audition for the Tiger Girls, I didn't know what God had in store. From nationals to games to TG Sister Night, come on, say it with me. LSU Tigers, fight, fight, fight! Sorry, Aggies in the house. To Alicia and Jess, how thankful I am to have friends like you with praying hearts and hands. For those who don't know, which you all already do because they gave their speeches and told you how we met, but for those who don't know, Alicia used to be my boss. I'm so grateful that God destined our paths to cross. And speaking of work, I now work with Jess. What a precious gift you are to help me through all of life's tests. And now on to the Cowboys, but no, I'm not talking about football. I'm talking about the cheerleaders who became some of my greatest friends of all. I actually met Jordan before auditions. I'm so thankful that God brought our friendship into fruition. For every stage of life, I'm glad we've had each other. It's been an honor to be your friend and watch you become a bride and then a mother. And last but not least, the other DCC that I'm beyond grateful the Cowboys and God brought to me. I'm not sure that words will do. There are no words to describe how much I love you. You've been there for me through the good and the bad. You always make me happy when I'm feeling sad. I'm so thankful you're my friend, and thanks for being mine. Jenna Jackson, I know we'll be friends for all of time. To all my family and friends, thank you for being here. Let's celebrate this time with lots of cheer. Tomorrow is all a part of God's perfect plan. I know this to be true because He's given me the perfect man. Okay, so I was in a bit of a panic this week with all the last minute things going on. And I called Jonathan. He knew I wanted to write a speech. And I'm like, I have not had a second to think about this, to write this. But I found a journal entry of mine. And I didn't know it then, but this journal entry is from September 1st. So it might get a little sappy because I didn't know I was writing this for a room full of people until the end. As I started writing it on September 1st, I knew that I was writing my rehearsal dinner speech and that I would read it for all of you. So you'll see kind of how it transitions into being like a journal entry into a rehearsal dinner speech. And I would like to thank my past self for once being early for something and doing something ahead of time. So this is a journal entry. Jonathan and I met July 24th. So this is a month and a week later after knowing him that I wrote this journal entry. So I do apologize if it does a little sappy. I'll try to take out some of those details for you. But today is September 1st. And I have never been more in love. Exactly 40 days ago, God brought me the most amazing man into my life. I never imagined I would meet the love of my life on a dating app, but I did. From the moment I stepped out of my car and saw Jonathan Webb standing there, tall, dark, and handsome, with the warmest, kindest smile I had ever seen, I knew with everything in me that I had just met my husband. For me, it was love at first sight, but not in that crazy, overwhelming, giddy with excitement kind of way. Don't get me wrong. I was very excited and giddy. I literally thought Jonathan looked like a movie star or the next Mr. McDreamy to be cast on Grey's Anatomy. But the feeling I had wasn't really a feeling at all. No, it was much more. It was much more powerful than a fleeting emotion. It was a knowing. This strong, steady, and unwavering knowing. I was suddenly filled with a sense of deep peace that I can't even describe because it was truly the peace of the Lord. It was this overwhelming peace. I just knew He was my husband, and I was so confident and assured with this complete peace that I felt upon meeting him. It's funny to think back on our first date now because Jonathan said He walked away that night not really knowing if I was into him. You know, you got to play a little hard to get. But little did he know, I knew he was the one from the moment we met. It's funny. If you know me, you know I find meaning in almost everything because I believe everything does mean something. As I said before, I never would have imagined that I would meet the love of my life on a dating app called Hinge. For those of you who are lucky enough to have never used a dating app, the one we met on was called Hinge. Hinge.
Are you sponsored right now?
I wish that they sponsored me. I actually reached out to them and they said they couldn't sponsor every success story there was, but they wished us well. So
Sponsor moment.
they did wish us well. Thank you, Hinge. No, that's real. I did do that on Instagram. I did do that. I had the app for over a year and a half, and I never really used it much. I didn't go on many dates from the app or even care about it much, to be honest. And I definitely never thought about why it was called Hinge. Not until I met Jonathan. Only then did I understand. Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines the word hinge as a flexible device on which a door swings open or closed. When I matched with Jonathan on the app, I didn't know it then, but God was using Hinge to close all the doors in my life that needed to be closed and opening all the doors that needed to be opened. All the doors that he wanted to be open and intended me for me to walk through all along. The door that led me to be standing here in this moment. The door that has brought me a life of love and happiness. The door that has brought me more joy and peace than I can put into words. The door that has been the all-time greatest blessing I could ever ask for. And the door that has exceeded anything I could have ever dreamed of. And that door was the one that had Jonathan Webb on the other side of it. It was the door that led me to you. As we know, a hinge is something that is used to attach two things together, and that it was. God is the ultimate creator and storyteller, and Jesus is the greatest carpenter there ever was. And they attached our two lives together with a hinge, literally. I'm not sure how else I would have met Jonathan. I have lived in Dallas for 6 or 7 years now, and I had never managed to run into him. It's so crazy to think that you can have absolutely no idea that someone exists in the world, and then one day you meet them, and you can't imagine your life without that person. And that brings me to the next definition of hinge. This one is my favorite definition. The one that resonates with me the most. The word hinge can also be defined as a determining factor, a turning point. Not just a physical turning point of a door, but a turning point in life. A single moment that forever alters the trajectory and destiny of your life. Our lives hinge on each passing moment, never knowing which ones will change our lives forever. In actuality, our lives are continually changing with each passing moment. We are always growing, evolving, and shifting. But there are some moments bigger than others. I didn't know that my whole life would hinge upon the moment I liked your photo, the moment we first texted on the app or talked on the phone, or the moment I met you. Jonathan Flint Webb, from the moment you walked into my life, everything took an upward swing on the hinges that my life was hanging by. I couldn't have imagined you, I couldn't have dreamed of you, and I will never be able to thank God enough for you. We are about to experience another one of those pivotal moments in life, and I am so excited to walk through these next doors of life with you as my husband. I would never have guessed that the moment that hinged on saying hello would lead me to the moment of saying I do. I love you. And I wrote all of that on September 1st, 2020.
That was great, thank you.
You sure you want to follow?
We love you guys.
Brilliant.
She just asked, she goes, are you sure you want to follow that? Oh no. Y'all, thanks for hanging with us. I'm going to close this out tonight. It's been an eventful night, hasn't it? I got to give it to my dad. It's probably the most creative way he's ever gotten out of a check. So he committed. I will second Erica's appreciation for all of you being here tonight. You know, Erica and I were talking earlier this week about what might be our favorite part of this weekend, and we both said in some way that it's going to be having everybody in the world that we love in the same place at the same time. So really, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for celebrating us. Thanks for being a part of this. Thank you for loving us. It really means the world. So there's a lot I want to say tonight, but before I do, there's something that I actually need to come clean about to you. Erica doesn't know this, but our relationship kind of started on a lie. And I feel it's best to to air that out before we go through it tomorrow.
Got our support.
Thank you, guys. But before I do, let me lay down a little context here. As many of you know, as it's been said tonight, Eric and I met on Hinge during quarantine last year. Now, I had been on the app for a few weeks prior to connecting with Erica. And I'm going to rewind actually to the week before I met Erica. I was on a date with somebody else. It was not going well. There wasn't going to be a date two. But one good thing did come out of that date, and that was that as she excused herself to go to the restroom, I got a notification on my phone. And it was from Hinge. And it said, "You have matched with Erica Wilkins." And now I remembered Erica's name from when I first originally liked her profile because, I mean, how could you forget that face? And I liked everything you wrote in your profile because it was total cheese, and I feel like I could really pick up on her personality. So Eric and I start talking. These dating apps, they have like chat features in them, and we start talking over the next 2 days. And when I say talking, like it is the slowest conversation. Like I would send something at 9 a.m. and she would respond at 4 p.m. the next day. And so we're not really getting anywhere. But I knew that I was interested. Like I wanted to meet this girl. I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to get her number and take her on a date. And so by Sunday, we just said like 3 things to each other. And I'm just like, all right, I'm getting impatient. Let's move this along. Mike, I'm going to drag you on the bus here, man. I'm sorry. So I'm talking to my buddy Mike about this Sunday night, and he's asking me, how's it going with that cheerleader chick? And I'm like, hey, it's going well, but like you're just not like, I need to get her number. But I don't feel like I'm there in the conversation yet to like I haven't established enough with her. And I can tell Mike's thinking, and he looks back at me and he goes, just kind of says like Mike says it, with his head kind of back, like, bro, I got an idea. And I'm like, yeah, like, what's going on? And he goes, all right, tell her you're going on a week-long phone fast, like from social media and like dating apps. Like, tell her you're doing a phone challenge with your friends for 7 days. He goes, 1, she's going to eat that up. 2, it's going to make you look really good. And 3, most importantly, she's going to have to give you her number if she wants to keep talking to you. I was like, Mike, that's brilliant. Oh my gosh. So it's Sunday night, and I'm drafting up this message to Erica. Total lie. Hey, I've really enjoyed talking these past few days. That wasn't a lie. But I'm starting this week-long phone thing, yada yada, with my friends. Here's my number. Shoot me a text. Next morning, wake up. Text from Erica. Hey, Jonathan, Erica from Hinge. So glad you asked my number. The lie worked. My God. Moral of the story is lie. It makes everything work out the way you want it to. Babe, as you know, I don't even have social media. I mean, I did not do a week-long thing with my friends. But you cannot be too mad about it because, I mean, look where we are. If you are a little bit mad, blame him. Here's this idea. So Erica and I went on our first date a few days later, and the rest is history. A couple of weeks into knowing her, I knew that she was the one. I knew that this was the girl I was going to marry. And, I felt a little bit crazy admitting that to myself, only after such a short amount of time of knowing her. But I was confident that this was the girl. Prior to meeting Erica, my friends would probably describe me as not being the most decisive when it comes to girls. Is that fair to say? They're all like giving me very exaggerated head nods, like, yeah, is that a rhetorical question? So when I had this assuredness about Erica, this certainty, it even kind of took me back a little bit. It was a brand new feeling for me. And so during that time, I would actually journal some thoughts and feelings down that I had, just to kind of like process them out. And I'm going to take a page of your book here, and I'm going to read something that I wrote down. I didn't know you were doing that, actually. I wrote this last August. We met July 24th. This was 2 weeks after I met Erica. And Erica's not heard this.
Ooh, yes, bring it.
Where are we? I met the girl I'm going to marry last week. I never thought I was a type of person who would have that kind of deliberate thought about someone so early after meeting them. But I'm weirdly sure that if we begin dating, this will be the girl. We weren't exclusive yet at the time I was writing this. She's a blast. She's insanely beautiful. I've never felt this way about someone. There's something clearly different about this one that excites me. I've never pursued a girl like this before. I've never dropped someone off at night and counted the days until I get to see them again. I've never lit up like this when I get a text or a call from someone. And I've never written anything remotely close to this about someone I've never written anything remotely close to this about someone, especially after only knowing them for 2 weeks. There's something different here, and I'm excited to see what it is. And there absolutely was something different. So then I got the opportunity to get to know her on a deeper and more intimate level as we started dating exclusively. And that certainty and assuredness that I had about Erica, it just continued to grow daily. It compounded every time I spoke to her, every time I spent time with her, every time I saw her around her friends and her family, and every time I saw her around my friends and my family. And I know that that peace and that certainty that I had about her, it came from, me seeing just what a amazing, godly girl she is. My initial draw to her was, dating apps, they can be a little superficial, right? And so my initial draw to Erica was her appearance, as I saw on the app. But between the time that I saw her on Hinge, the time that I wrote this note 2 weeks later, I learned that her appearance was what I was least attracted to. And it was her heart for the Lord. It was her heart for other people. It was her fun personality and her endless supply of cheesy puns that I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. The last thing I'll say, and this is kind of speaking upon something that Tyler talked about, was that there are guys that came into my life that really helped shape me and really had an influence on me, and he pointed a lot of you guys out. In fact, all my groomsmen have, in a way, impacted me and have had a unique influence on me. And so I think it's 100% true that none of us are products of ourselves, meaning that Erica and I did not become the people we are today just by our own doing. It was the experiences we've gone through, and I think even more importantly, the people that come into our lives that have that unique influence on us. So whether you're a Tiger Girl from LSU, whether you are a DCC, whether you're an aunt, an uncle, whether you're a cousin, an immediate family member, or a mother, thank you for the influence, thank you for the impact you have had on Erica, because last year when I met her, I fell in love with her very quickly. And so however you all touched her life, it has in a way led to us getting to this point tonight, so thank you. So I'm going to close this out in prayer, and then we can call it a night. Dear Lord, thank you for tonight. Thank you for all of our friends, our family, and our loved ones who have given so much so that Erica and I can begin our life together so blessed and so grounded. Thank you for bringing Erica and I to this point and for the love that we have developed for one another. I pray that we continue to place you first in our lives over each other, and that our relationship will bring honor and glory to you. I pray these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Hey, y'all, again, thanks for being here. We look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Have a good night.
Hip, hip, hooray!